Next, we have the dynamic duo of Zahra Suratwala and Ashley Selmon, who are both running for County Board in District 1. You should vote for both of these extremely awesome people. Zahra is a prolific author, a professor of English literature, and extremely active in community service. Ashley has a degree from George Washington University in International Affairs. She is from DuPage and has worked in nonprofits doing work for our community for many years.
Hi everyone, I'm Zahra Suratwala and I'm running for the DuPage County Board in District 1 along with Ashley Selmon.
Hi, my name is Ashley Selmon. I'm also running for the DuPage County Board in District 1, and as you can probably tell, Zahra and I are running as a slate so that voters have an easy way to determine that we're both running for 2 seats.
That's right. So a little bit about myself. I've lived in Elmhurst for over 11 years. I am a writer and editor. I'm the co-founder of the I Speak for Myself book series, which has 7 published volumes to date. I'm a professor of English at Elgin Community College. I'm a mother. I have my master's in English literature, and I am an activist in my community, both in my kids' school and in my boss community. I'm running because I feel we need more diverse representation at all levels of government. Diversity in terms of not only background, but perspective, career, just kind of the skills that you bring to the board. They're not always the ones that people think of when they think about what a politician is.
And I grew up in Wheaton, Illinois. After I went to Wheaton North, I graduated and then I went to George Washington University, where I received my degree in international affairs. And then after living in DC for 4 years, I was a little exhausted and wanted to come home. So I moved back to Illinois. And I moved back to DuPage County. It's a county I love. I loved growing up here and the opportunities you receive from living in such a great county. But I realized we could do a little better, and that's a lot of why I'm running. The last 6 years, I've worked in nonprofits doing data analysis and qualitative research, and I think those skills will help me on the county board. I'm next. So the biggest issue, and you'll hear this from all of our colleagues who are also running for county board seats, is the budget in DuPage County. Because of mismanagement of funds, moving funds around into the different accounts than they are intended for, and not planning ahead for our future, DuPage County is really close to running a deficit. So what happens if we were to have more expenditures than we have revenue? That means that we probably have to raise taxes. I just bought a house in Addison. I think I pay plenty of taxes. I'm not really interested in paying anymore. So there are some really easy solutions we can do to make sure we don't run into a deficit, that we get our financial house in order, and most importantly, we make sure that we plan for our future. One of the biggest things we talk about is the county board makes too much money. You meet once a week for an hour, maybe 2, and for that, you get $52,000 a year. It's crazy. We think it's important that positions are paid so that anyone can serve, regardless of their personal finances, but we don't think that salary needs to go up for the next 10 years, so we'd be voting to institute a pay freeze. There's a whole bunch of other benefits. So if you serve on the county board, currently you can get health care. Almost everyone on the board has a full-time job. I would hold a full-time job if I were lucky enough to be elected. They give me insurance. They would also give me insurance for my dependents. That is what our county board members should do. They shouldn't use the county money and our taxpayer dollars for them and their dependents for a part-time position. We can also dig into other allowances like car allowances or making sure that we are using funds properly. But the point is that there's a lot of low-hanging fruit and easy solutions that we can implement very quickly to get our financial house in better shape.
Another issue that Ashley and I care very much about is accountability. We have no bid contracts at this time, which means that businesses that haven't been given a chance for some of these opportunities could come to the table if we were to get rid of no bid contracts, and they could have a chance to expand their own businesses. This would be a win-win for the county and for these business owners. Something else that we think about a lot is accessibility to our elected officials. I think in this day and age, especially with Facebook and social media and technology the way it is, it's ridiculous if you don't know how to contact your elected official easily. If all you can find is an office line and you don't get a call back and things like that, it's a way that people become disengaged from just what their elected officials are doing. And so we want to see an open line of communication between ourselves and our constituents. This means meeting times all year round, not only during campaign season. It also means moving the times of the general county board meetings. Right at the moment, they're at 10 o'clock on a Tuesday. If you work full-time and you can't easily leave that to come to the meeting, you don't know what's happening. Not only that, but by the time you get to the general meeting, there's not a lot of information being pushed out to voters as far as what is being voted on or decided in these committee meetings. So by the time you get to the general meeting, things have already been decided and they're just kind of being rubber stamped through. So I've attended a general meeting and it's very confusing. You don't really know what they're talking about and they're just kind of voting at that point. And I think more information would be very helpful. I envision the two of us coming home from meetings and on our own websites writing basically like a blog post after every general meeting, after every committee meeting, and saying, here's what was discussed, here's what was decided in regular language that we can all understand, so that if you see something in that is concerning to you, you know now what to research and what to bring forward to us, so that your voice actually can be heard. I think with knowledge comes engagement, and we want to really encourage that as much as possible.
So with that, the county board is one of those offices that you probably don't think about a lot, but it has such a huge impact, and not just on your taxes, but on the work that our county does to improve our roads, to improve all sorts of services. So even if you don't live in our district, please make sure you listen to the candidates that will come after us, because we deserve better than just one Democrat on a board and no debate.
Yes, and I think we deserve to bring kindness and empathy and common sense back to the table as well, and so we're looking to do that. So thank you so much for your time.
Next, we have future County Board member in District 4, Mary Fitzgerald Ozak. She is the Vice President of the Glenbard High School Board.
Bright lights, okay. Hi, I'm Mary Fitzgerald Ozak, and I am the current Vice President. I've been on the Glenbard High School Board for 8 years. I'm in my 8th year. We have an operating budget of $160 million a year. We've had a balanced budget for the last 9 years, and we're currently in the middle of a $100 million 10-year capital campaign, and all of our projects have been delivered on time and on budget. I also spent 12 years serving the village of Glen Ellen as a member of the Architectural Review Commission and the Zoning Board of Appeals, where you get some very interesting situations. I'm also a graduate of the University of Michigan, where I earned a political science degree. Right after that, I studied urban planning at the University of Illinois, and then I worked for Metra and the CTA as an urban planner. One thing that I've learned while I have a political science degree, my experience over the past number of years in our local efforts has taught me that political science is politics, and governing is not a science, it's an art. And my experience will give me the ability, when I get on this board, to be able to deal with what will still be a primarily Republican board, because the one thing you have to do on a board is play well with others. You need to work with others, and I certainly have had that experience while on the Glenbard board. The race that I'm in is Central DuPage County, District 4. There has, to my knowledge, never been a Democrat from this district. And currently we are, a fun fact that I discovered is that the two Republicans in this race each spent $40,000 on the primary. I spent $1,800. And I also got the highest vote count of all 9 Democratic and Republican candidates. So, I can do this, but I certainly need your help and your support. I fully expect that my Republican competitors will be doing the same thing again. And as we know, the Republican Party in this county is well-funded, well-staffed, and they're not going to be willing to give up these positions easily. So your support is certainly appreciated. While I'm on the board, or when I do get on the board, the first thing you have to understand is that being on committees is based on what the chairman, where he wants to put you. I certainly hope he would look at my background, and hopefully I'd be able to work on transportation issues. I'm also particularly interested in the opioid epidemic, and I'm also very interested in good governing. I've been a part of good government on this school board for 8 years. In 2005, 2006, this school district was in such a mess that my daughter's school day was cut when she was a senior in high school. They pulled it back together. For the past 9 years, they've managed to offer a balanced budget. You can turn things around, and that's what I certainly hope we can do in DuPage County. I'm going to leave you with a thought from someone who I share a middle name with. John Fitzgerald Kennedy said that, "Let us not seek the Republican answer or the Democratic answer, but the right answer. Let us not seek to fix the blame for the past. Let us accept our own responsibility for the future." Hopefully, after many Democratic victories, we will be able to work with everyone and we will make life better in DuPage County. Thank you very much.